This is Etsui coming at you with a Nabutama deck profile. So for my starter, of course, you gotta run a Stealth Beast Kuroko. So basically, if you don't know, this card's effect is Soul Blast 1 when an attack hits a Vanguard during the battle, this unit boosted. If you have a Nabutama Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose up to 2 cards from your opponent's bind zone, put them into his or her drop zone. So basically, you retire cards by having other cards in the deck that bind them, and then you use this card to retire them. So it really helps out, so you can limit your opponent's hand and field. It's a way to get rid of annoying cards. So for grade 3s, I run 3 Shuro Stealth Bee Kabuki Kongo. It's the main boss card. Its effect is... Oops, I can pick it up. Limit Break for Counter Blast 1 when this unit attacks Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, bind all your opponent's rear guards face up, and if the number of cards on your opponent's bind zone is 3 or more, this unit gets par plus 10,000 until end of the battle, and until the end of turn, your opponent puts those cards bound by this effect into his or her hand, and this unit gets par plus 2,000 to end turn. So this really helps because, one, there's cards in this deck that if you bind cards gains power, and then you can retire them with him again. And they're bound face up, so if the rear guards are bound face up, cards that are bound from the hand are bound face down. But basically, you go break ride, you can have cards in the bind zone already, and so even if you just sent 2 rear guards and you still had 1 in the bind zone, he still gained 10,000 K. And then he has also a skill, Counter 1 gains plus 2,000 power, but you don't really need that since you can already hit cross rides. You could use it. This deck doesn't really counterblast that much, but I wouldn't use it because you want to keep using this guy's effect a lot. And also, his effect also helps against decks like Link Joker, who have units on the field where they gain power if your unit is locked. So if you break right before them or you do anything, or that way, their units can't gain the power because it'll be in their hand. So any units that gains power when they're on the field, or effect activates when blah blah blah, that they have to be on the field. You can use his effect pretty much. And then I run 3 break ride. Shuro Stealth Dragon Kujiki Kiri Kongo. Sorry if I'm messing up on their names, but it's pretty hard to say these guys' names. Basically, this is the break rate for the deck. So a break rate effect is limit break 4. When Nabutama rides this unit, choose your Vanguard until end of turn. That unit gets power plus 10,000. Your opponent chooses 1 card from his or her hand, and discards it. Your opponent chooses 1 card from his or her hand and bind it face down. And at the end of that turn, your opponent puts that card bound by this effect into his or her hand. So basically, you have to resolve it in that way. So they have to discard a card, then bind a card from their hand. They have to do it that way. They can't bind and then discard. It's a ruling, and you have to do it, or you get in trouble with the judges and stuff. And then I run 2 Stealth Dragon Voidmaster. He is from set 1, when the only other set Nabutama actually got support, but didn't actually get anything else. So this card has Vanguard when this unit attacks. If the number of cards in your hand is greater than your opponent's, this unit gets power plus 3,000 to end of turn. You don't want to ride this guy. Mostly you get for his second effect when he's in the rear guard, which puts a lot of pressure on your opponent, which is his second effect is Vanguard, rear guard, Counter Blast 1 when this unit attack hits. If the number of cards in your hand is less than your opponent's, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. So again, puts pressure on your opponent's hand. They have to discard it, and then they'll try and target it to kill it because it's just putting too much pressure on them. Pretty much it. And then I run 3 Stealth Beast Tamahagane. This guy is really good at sniping cards and then retiring them with this. Basically what he does is when this card is placed on the rear guard or Vanguard, if you have a Nabutama Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and bind it face up. And at the end of the turn, that card goes back to your opponent's hand. So you put that, like this, target the starter, and then kill it with that. So it really helps. Helps kill out or kill annoying 10k boosters or annoying other cards. Pretty much. And then I play 4 of this guy. Stealth Dragon Kokijo. He's a really star player in this deck because if you combine him with Vanguard, he gets like 10k. It's really nice if your opponent has a full field. So his effect is during your turn, rear guard during your turn, when your opponent's card is placed in his or her bind zone. If you have an Nabutama Vanguard, this unit gets power plus 2,000 to end turn. So he's just really good because he can become like 19k by himself, and then if you break ride, he can become that'll be 20. He can be 21 by himself, so he's really good helping hit numbers. Then after that, I run 3 10k Vanguards. He's your main ride target. You want to ride this guy. I do play only 10 grade 2s because there isn't really much you want to choose, and it's just kind of like a weird thing. Like I have to run 2 extra grade 0s, which are not triggers, but they're a card that's really good. So that's one reason the cards are like has a weird grade lineup. Getting grade stuck in this deck does happen sometimes, but it's easy to play out with this deck because you're just going to minus your opponent's hand. So it's pretty easy because sometimes I've knocked out the cards that my opponent needs to ride next turn. So then he'll get grade stuck. So it's just a really good deck. It's not the best deck, but it's still a good deck. And then I run 4 of why everyone wants to play this card. Stealth Dragon Dreadmaster. He is just really good. Yeah, I run 4 of him. Basically, he's from set 1. Basically, a really good card. His effect is Rearguard Combos 1. When an attack hits during the battle that this unit boosted, Nabutama. If the number of cards in your opponent's hand is less than your if the number of cards in your hand is less than your opponent's, you may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. So pretty much, doesn't have to hit anywhere, and your opponent has to discard. Same thing with him, with Voidmaster. Just this guy's just really good. Puts a lot of pressure on your opponent. So it's again something that your Nabutama has that's really good. One thing that makes it a good deck. Then I run 2 this guy, Tempest Stealth Dragon Rogue, Tempest Stealth Rogue Fuki. He helps you replenish your soul by his effect being Rearguard Combos 1. Put this unit into your soul if you have an Nabutama Vanguard. If the number of cards in your opponent's hand is 3 or less, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose a card at random from your opponent's hand and bind it face down. And at the end of the turn, your opponent puts that card bound by this effect down. So turn your break ride. Turn your break ride. You wanna use. Let me fix the camera. There we go. You wanna use his effect because you'll get yourself more soul for your starter, and you'll be able to bind another card and make it hard for them to guard because he's gonna hit for like 30. This guy will hit for like 30, so it's really good. And going break ride over break ride, it's not too bad. Then I run 3 AK boosters. Not much else to say. 4 perfect arts. So I am running 4. I think I'm running 13 grade 1s. I believe 4, 8, 11. 13 grade 1s. And then here's the one I was talking about. I had to run a summon here because these are just really good. I don't. Some people run 4. I only run 2 because that's really all you need. You don't want to get too grade stuck because again the grades lineup is a little bit odd. So basically this card's just really good. His effect is Auto Combos 1. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if you have an Nabutama Vanguard, the number of cards in your hand is less than your opponent's. You may pay the cost. If you do, your opponent chooses a card from his or her hand and discards it. So pretty much you're minusing your opponent during your turn and making it harder for him. So like say example, your opponent's playing Descendant and he only has the 3 cards in his hand and you have less than him, you can combos 1 and he has to ditch 1 so he can't restand. Or if he's playing Minerva, which is coming out soon, can't restand. If your opponent's playing Aquaforce and you only had 2 cards, you can't restand. So it's just, it just really helps you out, and it's really defensive. It's 10k shield, really nice, grade 0. And then you have to play Rainbow because there is just no other triggers in the clan. There's no other triggers for the clan. So 4 crit, 4 draw, 4 heal, 4 stands. And then the stands are actually pretty good in the deck because again you got this guy who can get pretty high attack and you can attack with him. And if you get a stand, you can restand him, and he's still hitting for high numbers. So this deck's it's a good deck, but just needs some more support, and it'll be a little bit better. So this is my Nabutama deck profile. Remember to comment, like, subscribe. Be looking forward to my Aquaforce deck profile, my Galactic Steel Break Ride update profile, my Ethics Buster deck. And then last video I posted was my Chaos Breaker Dragon deck profile. So make sure if you haven't seen it, go watch it. This will be Zetzoy signing out. Have a good day.